everyone. This is Sherry at Talent is Optional. Finding the right color, shape, and size of flowers for your projects can be daunting and expensive. I'm going to do a series of videos on how to make your own flowers using various materials and various techniques. The first flower I'm going to be demonstrating is a folded rose. I love making these flowers because they're fast and easy. They use your leftover scrap paper, and you can add dimension through inking, embossing, or even glittering. This one is made out of vellum. Here are the items that you will need. You will need a scrap of paper. It can be pattern, it can be pattern on both sides. You'll need a pencil. You will need something to roll the edges back, and in this case I'm using an orange stick and a paper piercer. You'll need a pair of scissors, and you'll need glue. And I'm using Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive Glue. I love this glue. So let's get started. I take my paper and I draw a spiral. Now this is about a 3.5 by 3.5 piece of paper. The size of the paper you need will depend on what size of rose that you're wanting to make. Start in the middle and you just freehand a spiral. Now you don't have to be an artist, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You're looking for a spiral. And depending on how many loops around you make is how big your flower is going to be. And as you play with this and work with it, you will figure out what your own little technique is. So I take my scissors and I start cutting in and out wavy little lines, and that's going to give the edge of the rose some texture. And I'm just cutting around the spiral. As you can see, my spiral is not even round. But if I see that I need to move out a little bit, no problem, I move out. And just cut around. And what you're looking for is that spiral shape. See, I'm completely off my lines. I might be able to do this without even drawing. When I get to the center of the spiral, I leave quite a big chunk uncut. This right here is going to be the base of where all of the flower is setting on it. So you want to have quite a bit there. There's the spiral. Now I need to get this cut off, so I come over here and I will just cut it off. The corner that's left, I will take wavy lines and blend it in. Now, this side is actually going to be the rose. The side that I drew on is the back of the rose. So you start at the pointed end and you just start folding the paper back on itself. And this, if you can see where I'm folding now, is making the bud of the rose. And you just keep folding until you have all of the spiral wound around that little bud. This takes just a few minutes. Before you start doing the winding of the spiral, you could easily ink the petal edges at this point. I try to keep this round. You have a tendency when you start folding it back on itself for it to get flat. It'll work that way. It just becomes a little more difficult to get the petals to loosen up and look more like a rose. You can get there, but that's kind of the way it is. So I just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. Should have that song, rolling, rolling, rolling. And then once I get to this point, there's the base of the rose. Now I could let that unwind a little bit and then take my glue, put a big O glob, and I kind of go out the edges. It's going to dry clear, you can't see it. And then I set that rose right on top of that glob, if you will, of glue. and I hold it. That's why I like the Scotch Quick Dry adhesive, because it doesn't take very long for this paper to dry on paper. But if you get a little impatient, which we all do, I can take my heat gun, take my tweezers, hold it because it gets hot with the heat gun, and let the heat gun set the adhesive a little faster. It doesn't take much. That's pretty just by itself, is it not? But at this point, to even make it look even more realistic, excuse me, I take my orange stick and I start rolling these petals back. Now this is tearing. As I roll it back, it's tearing a little bit. I'm not worried about that. I can dress that up. I can glitter it. I can put glossy accents on to make it look like dewdrops. When I get to the center of turning these back, I get something that's a little finer cylinder to where it can get around it more. You can mash it back with your fingers. I mean, just play with this until you absolutely get it to where you want it. That's what is so fun about these. Quick, easy, and you're done. What do you think? Was that not quick and easy? You can make all sizes. This one I took and glittered. I actually inked the edges and glittered. Can you see that? I hope that shows. This one I took tulle, Mod Podged it to the pink, and then rolled it. Kind of looks like a fishnet hose. Doing paper roses, the folded paper roses, is a quick and easy way to make flower embellishments. You will never be stuck again without having the right color, the right size. All you have to do now is add a little bit of green to that and you've got the perfect rose. Thanks for dropping by, and I'll be doing another series real soon.
I've held up pretty good, but lately things have started to sag.